Hey, hello, as you can see, it's time for another game pickup video. I've added quite a few games to the collection and they range from Xbox 360 games, from PlayStation 4, PlayStation 2. There's even a Nintendo DS game in there and a 3DS one. That's the one that we will start with because I do think I'm the most happy about that one. And there's even a Nintendo GameCube game. So let's just start because there are 10 games in this stack, and I think there are a few pretty good games in here, and even a couple recommendations of maybe to check those out as well if you're interested in some in the horror genre. This one is not a horror game though. It's completely the opposite, and that is Rhythm Paradise Mega Mix. So yeah, for the 3DS, I was searching for this game for quite a while. I think it's complete in box. Like I'm never quite sure with the 3DS games, like if it came with like a manual or just with one of those pamphlets or flyers that say like, okay, go to this website to read up about the game. And I think like all the games have like the manual on a card, or you can select it. How does it actually work? I don't know. Not too worried about it though. It seems complete enough. This game though, like the Rhythm Paradise Mega Mix, these games are quite difficult to get because you do have the Wii version. There's a DS one as well. I need to check if there's a GBA one, like the Game Boy Advance one, but that might only be like a release in the Asian territories. I'm not quite sure. I have to check it out. But I really like these games, like the rhythm games. And the Mega Mix one for the 3DS was somewhat difficult to obtain and find for a decent price. It's very expensive. Or I see it quite often for a very high price. A couple months ago I picked up the Wii one. I will probably show that in a different video. But yeah, very happy that I've added this one to the collection, especially the 3DS collection. I'm still not sure for the 3DS if I want to collect all the Nintendo first-party titles. This is one of them. I made a whole list of all the games that should be in there or that are part of that sub-collection. And still need to decide about it. I'm kind of leaning towards yes, but there are a couple of games in that sub collection that is just they are expensive. Looking at you, Yokai Watch 3, it's insane. So, but yeah, this is at least one of them, and it's a good one as well. So very happy that I finally was able to obtain this one. Woo! Another game that is a game that I'm very happy that I found it because I think it's quite uncommon. And that is Dark Watch for the PlayStation 2. I love my first-person shooters, especially like the older type ones. Don't necessarily want to call this a boomer shooter. I think that's just a little bit like a different type of game. But yeah, Dark Watch. While making a list for the PlayStation 2, like I don't want to collect that many PlayStation 2 games. The list is rather small, maybe like 15 titles or so. And 5 from software titles that I do want to get. And yeah, I saw some gameplay footage of this game, and what stood out to me are the visuals, the aesthetics. I'm somewhat curious like how a first-person shooter game plays on the PlayStation 2. Because I do believe my only memory or experience with playing a first-person shooter on the PlayStation 2 was with the first Killzone game. But yeah, this one is complete in box. It's often with games, I think I mentioned it in previous video as well. If it's a more uncommon game or a little bit more expensive, I do want to try and get a complete version of it. But yeah, it looks good. Very excited to check this one out. There is also another release of this one on the original Xbox, and I think that is it. But yeah, it's quite uncommon. I don't see it that often. But yeah, love the aesthetics. So very happy that I've added this one to the PlayStation 2 collection. So I think There might be around 14 games left for that one. I need to check the list, but again, it's very small. Like I don't want to collect that many PS2 games, mainly because there's quite an overlap between that library and the one on the Nintendo GameCube. And the Nintendo GameCube is a library or collection that I focus a little bit more on. And speaking of that, I've added the Hulk, or this is just Hulk for the Nintendo GameCube. Am I happy am I happy that I've added this one to the collection? I think I am. It's a Marvel game. I tried to collect all the Marvel games for the PlayStation 2, and I guess also for the GameCube, and to some extent also for the Xbox 360. Not to some extent, like I want to get all the Marvel games. Did I have all the Marvel games? I still need to check that one out if I have all of the Marvel games on the 360. I might be missing one or two titles. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, I already owned the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction on the GameCube, and that's definitely the better game than this one. But I never played this one, so yeah, sort of excited to check it out. It is a very cheap game. I think you can get it for around like 5 or 10 euros or so. So yeah, added it to the collection. I'm happy about it. For the GameCube, my way on how to obtain those games is just to, if I don't have it, if I don't have the game and I see it for like a decent price, I will pick it up. I will pick it up. That doesn't mean like I'm gonna go for a complete GameCube collection, but you know, if I don't own it, I want to try and get it. That's the way how I approach it, and I do have a list. I have so many lists. For the GameCube, I have multiple lists. Like the first one is just like, okay, that's the main priority. Those are the games I definitely do want to get. I'm looking at you, Pokemon Gale of Darkness. Oh my god, someday I will get it. And then I do have some other lists like, okay, these are maybe mid-range priority and then low priority, just to focus a little bit on it. But yeah, again, if I see a game on a low priority list for a good price, I'm not gonna ignore it. I will pick it up, but it's not like I'm searching for it. It's just a matter of like, do I see it? Okay, then I will pick it up. It's time for an Xbox 360 title. This one was on the list. It's the Darkstar 1 Broken Alliance. It's not a space sim. It's more a, I think it's leaning a little bit more to arcadey, somewhere in between. I think that's fair to say. This one was on the list for quite a while. I wanted to obtain it because yeah, it has been a while since I tried playing one of these, a game like this. A couple years ago, I tried to play Elite Dangerous, which is definitely a more a space sim type of game. But yeah, Broken Alliance. Yeah, kind of curious about it. I saw gameplay footage of it. I think I played it on a PC, maybe. Or that might be Freelancer. Like I'm not quite sure. So yeah, was able to obtain it for like a very good price. I purchased it with a couple of other games, and yeah, I was like, yeah, why not? But yeah, very happy that I've added this one to the collection as well. Another one. Oh man, this one was high on the list for the PlayStation 4. For the PlayStation 4, lately I've been checking out survival horror type games or just horror games that I do want to pick up for the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. Weirdly enough, there are not that many for the PlayStation 3. You do have like Siren and Silent Hill ones and maybe a few others, but that list is super small. I don't know why, but for the PlayStation 4 there are quite a few more when you compare it to the PlayStation 3. And on the PlayStation 4 there are some titles that I'm not quite sure like if they are even good. That's something that I need to check, but one game that is good though is Signalis for the PlayStation 4. Yeah, I was looking for it, searching for it. It's complete. It also has like the lenticular photo. I don't know if that is rare or if that one is missing, but I see it mentioned always like, oh, is that photo actually in there? I have not played Signalis yet. I do own the Switch version, but I felt like I will pick it up for the PlayStation 4 because I do want to get my horror games mostly on the PlayStation 4. And yeah, happy that I've finally added this one to the collection. I'm not sure, like it's published by Humble Games. What I'm not sure about is the quantity of like how many games were pressed for this one, because I was looking for it, and here in the Netherlands it is sold out in most of the stores, and I also don't see it that often in like the second-hand like marketplaces like eBay or Vinted, or when I see it, it's for a rather high price, not something like, okay, I will just buy it and check it out. So yeah, I had to do some searching to find like a decent price copy of this one, and yeah, very happy that I've added this one to the collection. And the thing that I'm not sure about, like with Humble Games, if they do reprint games that they published, like I'm not sure about that. So I didn't want to gamble on it because I do have a feeling like this is becoming a rather rare game. But this is not the only horror game that I've picked up. The other one is, I think, also one to look out for if you want to collect some horror games on the PlayStation 4. So yeah, another one, let's get back to the 360 again. This game, no experience with it. No experience at all, but I think I bought this one with a couple of other games as well, and I was like, I should probably pick this one up. And it's a Blitz the League 2. This is the German version though, or it's a mix between a German version and just the patchy rating. It's an odd one. You don't see it that often, that the back of the box has the German text and the French text on it, but there's no English though. But the game is in English, but the manual is only in French and German. But I don't see this game that often, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just comparable to the arcade games, the NFL arcade games on the Nintendo 64, like the Blitz the League. Are those also called the Blitz the League? I actually need to check. When I was younger, I was a huge fan of the NFL and even went to some, American football games with like European teams and such. I think at some point in my life I wanted to become like an NFL player or actually do something with American football. That's no longer a dream of mine. But yeah, it's complete in box. Yeah, it's a sad thing though that the manual is in German or French. If I can, I will focus on getting like just one that has like an English manual. But yeah, again, I don't see it that often, and I think the NTSC version has definitely gone up in price. But yeah, excited to check it out because I never played like an NFL game, but I see myself playing something like this, especially if it leans a little bit more towards like an arcade feel. So yeah, excited to check it out because honestly, I don't know anything about it. So yeah, this is the second one. Now I'm not sure if the first one is better. I did see some discussion about it, so if you know, let me know. But yeah, I own this one and I don't own the first one. Do I need to pick up the first one? Maybe at some point. Here's another PlayStation 4 game that I'm very excited about because I was actually searching for these games for the Xbox 360 and or for the PlayStation 3. I do own a copy on the 360, but I don't have the DLC for it. Well, let's just show it. It's BioShock the Collection. This is, I think, a fantastic collection. It comes with two disc cases, two discs, and it has BioShock, and it also has like the DLC. And I think a nice thing of this one is that I never played BioShock 2, and I also never played the DLC for BioShock 2. That's the my Nervous Den. And if I remember correctly, when that DLC came out, like everybody was like, okay, this is the best part of BioShock 2. So I'm very excited to check that out at one point, because I do want to replay those games again, because I only played BioShock 1 when it was launched on the Xbox 360 or on a PC, and I really liked it. But I never played the DLC, never played the second part. I did play Infinite. Now I'm not sure if I think Infinite has like some DLC on it, has some DLC as well. If I'm correct, it's like Clash in the Clouds, Burial at Sea, and Columbia's Finest Pack. That seems more like a weapon pack or like a small add-on, not like a DLC. I'm not sure. But yeah, I can check it out. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of Infinite. I do want to replay the first one and want to check out the second one because I never played it. So yeah, this one is very nice. That I was able to get it for a very good price. I think I paid around like 10 for it, including shipping, and that seemed like a no-brainer. Because I was searching for BioShock, I do have the first one on the 360, and I do want to get the second one, and I already own Infinite, but I don't have the DLC. Now I do think there's a Game of the Year edition of BioShock 2 that has like the DLC, but that price, if I want to get those versions as well, I will pay more than just this collection, and I think this is the better way to play it. So that doesn't mean like I'm not gonna pick those up, but they're very low on the list now. Like, okay, if I see them with some other games bundled, then I will pick it up, but I'm not gonna actively search for it. With that said though, like I do want to add for the PlayStation 4, I don't necessarily have a list for PlayStation 4 games. I do have like a small collection. But lately I've been thinking about the PlayStation 4 quite a lot because, again, I picked this one up for 10 euros. And while picking up other games, not with Signalis though, but while searching for other games, one thing that definitely stood out to me is, or are the prices. The games just seems rather cheap, especially when you compare it to the Xbox 360 games at the moment. And it almost feels kind of like the PlayStation 4 might be a good console to focus on right now if you want to collect for it, or if you are interested in a couple games that were released on that console. Because the prices just seems like in a good window, in a good place to, it's mostly around 5 or 10 or so. There's of course a couple that are more than that, but it just seems like a good time to collect for the PlayStation 4. And normally I don't focus really on that, like, okay, should I pick up those games right now because they might become expensive. But again, one thing just stands out to me is that the prices are super low for the PlayStation 4. And they might become a little bit cheaper, but my feeling is they are not getting that much cheaper at this point, because they feel super low. But again, that's when you compare it to the prices for the Xbox 360. Another benefit though, I think, for collecting for the PlayStation 4 right now is that in most instances when I get a game secondhand, the condition is still super good. Like the disc looks good, and another benefit, somewhat of a benefit, is for the PlayStation 4, like most games don't come with a manual. So getting a complete in-box version that's in a good condition, like right now the games are not that old yet, and especially with this one, like the outer sleeve looks okay. Normally I don't like these type of sleeves because they are just dirty and like damaged, but also from that standpoint, it seems like a good time. Like they haven't like been stored away or thrown like in a box somewhere in the attic and just left there for like a couple of years. most of the PlayStation 4 games just feel like they were pulled from the bookshelf and just sold as is. With it, I mean, like they're still quite new. How old is the PlayStation 4? I don't know. I don't want to think about it. It just feels like a new console. But yeah, again, I have one other PlayStation 4 game that I do want to show. It's a horror game, but you have to wait for a little bit. That's the final game. That's not me hyping it up. It's just the order of the stack. Here's another 360 game. Yeah, it's a cheap game. It's Lost Planet 2. Very happy that I've added it to the collection though. It is complete in box with manual and with the disc. Why am I glad to have added this one to the collection is simply because of the fact that I already own the first one on the 360 and I do own the third one. So yeah, it would be odd to miss out on the second one. I think I waited I waited a while to pick this one up, mostly because I think the second one isn't the best one, and it focuses a little bit more on like the multiplayer aspect, like you have to play it co-op. I'm not sure though if the story is any good or if it's even fun to play alone. So I never had the urgency to actually pick it up. But yeah, right now it felt like it was a good price. I think I paid around like €3 or €5 for this one. So yeah, it completed that sub collection. I was not actively searching for a Lost Planet sub collection, but yeah, I added it to the collection. It just seems like an obvious game to get for the 360. Yeah, let's talk about that for a little bit. There are some 360 games that I still want to get, but that list, my main priority list, like okay, games that I really want to get, is very small. I think maybe between 5 or 10 games that I really want to get, and then I have around like 80 or 90 games that if I stumble upon them, I will get those. So I think that collection might see 80 games is still a lot, but those are all cheap games like this one. There's no urgency to get those, so I can kind of like chill back a little bit and just the seller is selling this one and I might pick it up. But it's kind of nice for me to kind of know like okay, there's just like 10 games that I really want to get and the rest is just bonus. With that said though, like for the 360, what I want to do is make a video of my favorite Xbox 360 games, because I do display a couple of them and I'm very selective about which ones I show on the shelf, because others are just stored in a box. So I do think I want to make a video of those games that I actually want to show on the shelf. And I think there are around 30 or 40 or so. And I want to show those and also show a couple games, or maybe talk about the games that I still want to add to the collection. One of them is actually Alice, and that might be the most expensive one. Yeah, Alice, the Madness something. I don't know the subtitle. It's the Alice in Wonderland game. Another game, not really actively collecting for this console. It's the new Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo DS. I do collect a little bit of Nintendo DS games, but again, not like going out of my way to get these games. As mentioned with the Nintendo 3DS, I'm thinking about getting all the first-party Nintendo titles. Maybe at some point I want to do that for the Nintendo DS as well, but I'm not sure. Maybe at some point. So when I see a game that I don't own and is part of, or could be part of that sub collection, and I see it for a decent price, I will pick it up. But again, I'm not searching for it or like checking like eBay listings. But yeah, I picked this one up. It's complete in box, so that actually made it kind of easy to pick it up. Again, I have a very small Nintendo DS collection. I think I have the Professor Layton games and the Castlevania, the Dawn of Sorrow, and a few Pokemon games. I think why I'm undecided about getting the first party Nintendo titles is mostly because of the fact that I would have to get the Pokemon titles, and man, when I see the prices for like Pokemon Black 2 and White 2, I'm not big enough Pokemon fan to spend that much money, so maybe only when I see like a decent deal for them. But maybe I need to go for the first party titles and exclude the Pokemon titles. I'm not sure. But yeah, again, when I see like a game that could be part of that sub collection, I will pick it up, but not actively searching for them. Which is kind of nice. The same thing happened with the Professor Layton games. Like someone was selling like 3 or 4 of them. I think there are also just 4 of them, and just got them for like a good price, and then I'll pick them up. Here's the final game. I'm not sure if I'm more excited about Signalis or this one, but yeah, I have a feeling that if you're a horror game fan and you want to collect those type of games for the PlayStation 4, this one is probably a collection that you should look out for, and it's the Outlast Trinity collection. I have a feeling that this is this is one to get because it has the first Outlast, it has the DLC, the Whistleblower DLC, and it has Outlast 2. And I know that a lot of people are very happy about or enthusiastic about the first Outlast and maybe less about Outlast 2. I played Outlast, the first one, never played the DLC, and I never had a chance to check out Outlast 2. I think I never checked it out because the reviews were not that positive, but I was thinking about that it might not have been that positive because people were so positive about the first one, and when you compare the second one to the first one, it might not be that good. But I still think like if you solely look at Outlast 2 and not compare it to the first one, that is still like a very good game. But that's something that I do want to experience. So yeah, very happy that I was able to find this one, because it's, I don't know, like uncommon, rare. Like I do still see it, but I don't see it listed in any stores, and I don't see it that often on eBay or Vinted. And again, like I think the chances are very low that you see like a reprint of a game like this. And I mostly see it around the price range of like 20 euro, 25, maybe like some 30 like here and there. But yeah, it just seemed like a very good collection. And I believe that if you are into the horror games, the survival horror games or horror games, then this might be one to look out for, and hopefully you're able to find it for a good deal. But yeah, I think mostly I think I'm more happy about Signalis and then this one. And also Bioshock. Bioshock is actually also a little bit like horror, has a horror vibe. But Signalis just stands out to me like from a visual and aesthetic standpoint, and also just the audio. It's super nice, and it does get good reviews. So yeah, those are the games. I do have a couple PlayStation 2 games that I still need to receive. So that will make the list a little bit smaller. There's a very nice game in there. It's a game that I have sold but had to rebuy again. I just had to. Yeah, I don't have to do anything, but I wanted it because I will talk about it in the next video. I do have some Xbox 360 titles. Hopefully, oh man, I told in a different video that I was looking for the Need for Speed Most Wanted, the 05 version, but sadly I had to return it again because the disc just wasn't good. It was so scratched, but I rebought it again. But I need to see if that one is actually decent. I might have bought that game like 3 times already, and every time I just had to return it because the pictures that I took weren't just good or very indicative of the disc itself. Now you might think like, okay, am I actually super picky? But no, trust me, those discs just weren't good, and that one is on the way, and hopefully it's actually good, and I can show that next time. There's another DS game on the way, weirdly enough, because I am not actively collecting for it. There's a Wii game on the way, and again, I do want to make a video of my Wii collection. That's the first party titles for the PAL region, and I do have like around like 20 or 30 games that are not first party, but games that I feel like are games that you should pick up if you want to collect for the Nintendo Wii. Are there some PlayStation 3 games or PlayStation 4 games on the way? Yes, there are some PlayStation 4 games. I think at least 2 or so. So yeah, if you want to know what else, which games that I've picked up, be sure to check out the next video. I think there are some quality games in there. Oh yeah, there are some GameCube games probably in there that are not that good. We'll see. So yeah, let me know if you want to see the video about the Xbox 360 titles, like mostly the games that I feel like are worth displaying on a shelf. A part of that is also the From Software sub-collection that I might have completed. And yeah, I also want to make the Wii collection video as well. So if you want to see those, let me know. And yeah, especially be sure to check out the next game pickup video, because I think it's going to be a good one. But I have to check that first as well, because, you know, most wanted someday. Well, thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Bye.